I had no idea what I was getting into. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you guys about one of the greatest experiences in my life. I recently came back from Colombia in March and I did a Temescal medicinal plant experience and it was transcending. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about that. I traveled to Colombia about 2 months ago and I booked a retreat. I just wanted some solo time. I wanted to chill. I wanted to relax. No remote working, just me time. I wanted to be in the mountains, completely cut off from everything, and that I was. I found this beautiful little gem, this eco-village called El Territorio, which is about an hour and a half in the mountains from Cali. The views are incredible, and these people have built such a beautiful site. So the owners of the site are a medicine man and his wife and his family, and then over the years there have been contributing community members that have either bought a little piece of land, built their house. There's a yoga temple, they do martial arts, they have this beautiful communal kitchen which is incredible, and we eat well, we live well. It's just an incredible place. I'll put the link in the description of the video if you guys want to go check it out. Well, you know, I spent the week taking care of me. Woke up, yoga, martial arts, power juices, vegan food, feeling so good and rested in my body. The day before I left, the medicine man says, I feel like today's a Temescal kind of day. So I said, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm happy I'll be experiencing that, you know, the day before I leave. Temescal to me is a sauna, a sweat lodge. You know, you can have them at the spa. I thought that's pretty much what it was going to be until I heard it was going to be a medicinal plant experience. And then I was like, okay, wait, hold the phone. I was not anticipating to spend my day like vomiting for 6 hours. I mean, I had heard the stories from ayahuasca and the peyote experiences from friends and so on. And I wasn't really mentally or physically prepared to experience that. So I got a little bit nervous. I was like, what am I getting myself into right now? The medicinal plant that we were going to be consuming was Wachuma, and I quickly gave it a Google, and I had read that it was the least strong medicinal plant out of all of them. And I said, whew, okay, that calmed my nerves a little bit. And then I saw him also, you know, give some to his kids. And I said, okay, if these kids can handle that shit, so can I. So they grow the cacti on their land. They made a little extract. We all took it. The experience actually takes a couple of hours to prepare. So they built a fire and then they put all the stones into the fire. And they had a dome-like structure that was made out of branches, and which later they would cover with tarps. And in that dome, there's a hole in the ground where the stones go. So the process of heating the stones takes a couple of hours, and there's a few little ritualistic things that they do in between then. While we're getting ready, I was told I had to wear a skirt because the ladies can't wear bathing suits because it distracts the men. So I put my skirt on, you know, we're spending the day just waiting for these stones to heat up. Then finally, it's time to go in. No idea what to expect whatsoever, because I wasn't anticipating doing this at all. We're maybe about 6 or 7, mostly the people from the community, so they've all done this before. We all go in one by one, and finally it's my turn to go in, and I crawl into the back, and that is apparently the hottest part. Nobody ever told me, so yeah. So it's dark in there, and then they start bringing in the stones one by one, and they give me this little bag with incense in it, and each time they put a stone in, I had to take incense out and bless the stone, say a little blessing, and pour the incense on it. Once that was done, everybody comes in, they close the door. What I've learned is that in a normal ceremony, there are 4 door openings to represent the 4 cardinal points, to represent the 4 elements of earth, to represent things like rebirth, recreation, and so on. So I said, okay, I know what my timeline is. So the door closes, they put the water on top of the stones, and it's just starting to get a little hot in there. And you know, the medicine man starts banging on his drum, and he's chanting, and there's some energy flowing. I'm like, all right, this is okay. You know, it's warm, it's not too bad. I can handle this. So about 15 minutes goes by, first round done. They open the door and everybody kind of gasps for air, and I sort of like lie down on the earth getting air, and they refill the stones and it's break time. And this wave of emotion just comes over me. I just start crying and crying and crying. And I'm like, what is happening to me right now? And all these things start going on in my head. These, and from my subconscious, things start just popping up. And I'm like, all right, I'm taking it in, but I'm just like, I don't know what's going on in my body right now. Finally, they put the stones in. We do the same little ceremony with putting the incense on top of each stone. They close the door. He starts banging on his drum, chanting, and we keep going. And it's getting a bit warmer in there. Every time they put the water on, the steam comes up. It's really hard to take a breath. So at this point, I'm like, okay, it's getting warmer. It's getting a bit more intense. Ali, focus, channel your energy. There was a baby in there and an 8-year-old kid, and I was like harnessing that energy from them. I was like, be with me, take this energy, channel that energy. If they could do it, you could do it. And then, things again just start opening up in my mind. Things start happening, and I'm just like, wow, I'm getting emotional. I'm, not really sure where these things are coming from. It was intense. Second time, they open the door. I'm gasping for air. We're all kind of gasping for air. Well, everyone else seemed pretty calm and collected. I mean, I don't know if I seemed that way too, but I was trying to get some air. I was lying down on the floor again, just getting my air. And I said, okay, you know what? I've caught my breath now. I could do this again. This time, I'm crying more. I'm like, at that point, you're pretty wet, You're wet from the sweat. Your clothes are wet and sticking to your body. I'm crying. Like, there's tears on my face. It's so hot that your sinuses are just flowing. So I'm literally like taking my skirt, blowing my nose. There's like boogers and snot like everywhere on my clothes, on my face. And it's hot. So I'm just like digging my fingers into the earth looking for some coolness. And then I'm like wiping, the sweat off my forehead. So there's mud and stuff on me. It was just like not a good look. They closed the door for the second time. And we're going for round 3 now. Whoo! All right, it's hot at this point. I'm emotional, I'm crying. There's a lot of shit going on in my head. I'm gripping on to the earth as much as I can to get some coolness and to just focus. I'm literally channeling everybody in that space to give me power to get through this. And I'm also channeling, all these powerful bodies that I'm thinking of that are coming at me. And it really tests you. Finally, the third time opens, gasping for air, and I'm like, okay, it's the last time we're going to do this. I can do this. Crying, overwhelmed, just like a big ball of nastiness. And I was there for it, it was tough. So, just when you don't think you can anymore, you kind of get that little bit of fresh air during that opening, and you're like, okay, I can go one more time. So they close the door. Last time, they fill it with more stones. They pour that water over, and literally I couldn't breathe. Like, I had to channel so much focus to get through that last point with the tears and the shit that's going on in my brain. It was intense. And finally, they opened the door the 4th time, and I said, thank God it's over. And I can leave. I can get up. I can leave. There's no one forcing me to stay here. I am my own person. So I knew they opened the door for the last time. It was, almost time to leave. Then I see them close it again. And then at that point, I say, fuck no, I'm done. This is it. I can't handle it anymore. So I start crawling on top of everyone to leave. And then someone grabs me and says, no, you can't leave. And she's like literally holding me in her arms like a baby. And I'm like crying and all like, crippled. And she's like, no, you can't leave. And she's like rocking me. And I'm like, I can. She's like, yes, you can. Thank God it was just closing ceremonies. It was maybe another 2-3 minutes of singing and chanting. So then finally they open the door, and then I continue to crawl. And she stops me again. She says, no, you must go the way of the order. So like everyone had to go the other way one by one. So I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So I had to wait for everyone to leave so that I can crawl out. Temescal is supposed to represent the womb. So once you come out, you're supposed to feel reborn. And man, let me tell you, I felt reborn. Like, you're crawling out of that thing as if you're covered in legit placenta, okay? I'm covered in sweat. My clothes are sticking to my body. I have snot and boogers and tears and mud everywhere. Just crawling out and then laid on the grass like in fetal position pretty much. And crying still. I just like an overwhelming amount of crying. It was insane. Thinking to myself, what the fuck just happened? And, you know, they give everyone water, and I took a few moments to collect myself, and then finally I got up and I just hugged every single person that was there. And I hugged the medicine man and I said, that was one of the most beautiful experiences I had ever done. And you're probably wondering, were those tears of joy or tears of sadness? Well, they were mostly tears of joy. Everything that was coming up for me, I won't go into too much detail here. I think I'll save that for another video maybe. But I was thinking about many things, but mostly it made me think of where I am right now in my life is exactly where I'm supposed to be. It was a ceremony of reassurance, and it basically made me feel that every single inch of self-doubt, anxiety, fear, anything like that that I had in me, just let that go because it doesn't exist. That isn't me. That is not what defines me. And that was such a reassuring experience. I've never felt that good, sure, confident, strong ever. And I said, fuck, I gotta, you know, take this and put it in a jar and hold on to it, you know, because when I do feel insecure and anxious, moments of uncertainty or whatnot, or self-doubt, I need to have some of that. I need to remember that moment. It was fucking incredible. And then at the end, I had a beautiful naked shower with a Colombian woman. That was also fun. No sex involved. We shared many nice moments and reflected upon our experience. I want to thank the community that accepted me and provided me with that experience. And would I do it again? Probably yes, but in a very safe, predictable environment. I know you can't predict what's going to happen in these kinds of ceremonies, but as much information I have beforehand, the more safer I'll feel, because it really tests you. And I don't ever want to feel like I'm not going to be able to get out of one of those. I don't know. Does that defeat the purpose of it? Anyways, that was my experience and it was wonderful. So if you guys have any similar experiences, please share them with me. I'm curious to know what you guys have been through. I know that everybody goes through a different experience, so I would love to hear yours. Thanks for listening to my video. I'm really happy to be sharing that experience with you guys. And if you have a chance to go check out this retreat, it's amazing. Everyone is great. The yoga teachers, the martial arts instructors, everyone is so professional, so wonderful, so caring. The food is amazing. I had the pleasure of cooking on some days. Thanks, everyone.